to do a quite short video really, just to discuss the healing process. The healing process of soft tissue injuries and what happens at the cellular level and the phases that an injury goes through, and some kind of practical tips to help really. Now, as with all our videos, I'm simply going to present some general principles. This advice is not specific to you, so it's very important that you receive a diagnosis from a well-qualified medical professional. So in terms of soft tissue healing, essentially there are three phases. So say you were to turn your ankle. First thing that's going to happen is that you're going to get an acute inflammatory response. If you get swelling immediately, then that's an indication that there's bleeding within the tissues and around the tissues. But it's quite normal to get some swelling that builds up over a few hours or over a day or two. Now, essentially what happens is that some histamine is released and the cells start to become, the blood vessels start to become a bit more leaky, and some of the fluid from inside the blood vessel starts to leak out around the injury source. Now, it's really important to realise that actually that inflammatory process in the early stages is quite an important thing, and we don't want to stunt that process. So the use of non-steroidal medications such as Nurofen or ibuprofen, not necessarily that helpful in that particular stage. When you've got this acute injury, you want to try and take the weight off it if you can. If you've got a pair of crutches, fantastic. You want to try and ice it, you want to elevate it, compress it if you can, but generally you want to rest for a few days. After 2 or 3 days, up to about 3 weeks, you start to get what's called the proliferation phase. And essentially that's the generation of repair material or scar tissue around that site of injury. And the important thing during this phase is that you slowly start to regain your movement and you maintain your muscle strength to stop the muscles from atrophying or shrinking. At around 3 to 4 weeks, you start the remodeling phase of the injury process. And essentially what happens during the remodeling phase is that scar tissue starts to get stronger, it starts to improve in quality and improve in function. At 2 to 3 weeks during this remodeling phase, you want to start to try and get back to your previous exercise regime, slowly increasing your range of movement, increasing your strength, and starting to get back to some function, some sport-specific rehabilitation. For example, with football, you might want to do some running in lines. You might want to start to do some slaloms, some cutting, some jumping, that sort of thing, and then eventually getting yourself back to full fitness again. So I hope that's been helpful. Once again, this is Kieran here from Flex Physiotherapy, and I look forward to seeing you again soon.